So here we go. We're gonna go live. Hit the button.
Oh, we're live.
I like our intro. Nope. I'm getting ahead of ourselves. I get to see people in jail.
We are way ahead. No, we're not
It
ready.
still looks like poo poo. It's so blurry, but they don't need to read my tabs because that's not the focus today. We have our new image system going. We'll see how that works.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was
No,
gonna,
I'm excited.
and so then I can slot in like little break messages, like, "Hey, it's time to take a break," and then we'll have pre-planned breaks too. So, good morning, everyone.
That's a good idea.
Do we have anybody
Good morning,
viewing?
everybody.
I don't know. Where's our?
Wait 1 second.
I'll switch over to my other one. Yeah, I don't have chat. I gotta
I'm
move.
not. I'm still seeing starting soon
You're still seeing what?
on YouTube.
Did I?
Yeah.
Like it says
Good
I'm
morning,
live.
Craig.
Craig, can you see us? We need some feedback.
Let's see.
He says good there.
Okay.
We got 2 people, so
Well then.
they'll be quickly
Yep.
leaving because they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, time to leave." This crud. They
Yep.
promised us new games, and you're not gonna get any new games, big or smaller. I don't know. We're having technical difficulties, so we'll see once we get past this page. Oh yeah, that might affect the next page too. So, yay. So, welcome
It's
back,
okay.
everyone. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Hey, everybody.
It's been a while.
Happy New Year.
So, anybody got
Hey,
anything?
DB.
Any cool stories going or anything? Any events haps since we last spoke?
I was in Oklahoma City last week and it snowed while I was there. And I know this isn't a big deal for you, but I have seen snow since I moved to Florida. It'll be 10 years um in June that I've been in Florida. It We went to Arizona and we went through the mountains and so I saw snow, but this was the first time I saw falling snow in over 10 years. And it was really cool. It was prettier than I remembered, and it was n it didn't snow a ton, so, um, you know, it
Were
was
you
cool.
prepared?
Ye Yeah, for the most part. I checked my bag. I brought every sweater that I owned.
Did you wear
And,
them all at the same time?
um no, I didn't. I did not. It actually wasn't that bad, because man, m my anime is real blurry. Um, no, when uh in Florida right before we left, it was getting down into the 20s and 30s and it was really humid. So or a lot of moisture in the air, so it was very cold. And when I went to Oklahoma, it was in the 30s, but it was really dry. And so it just like it wasn't really cutting through, and I have a nice warm jacket. So
No,
but I did get made fun of a couple times because I had a hat and a scarf and gloves and then my warm jacket. And we were the night that it snowed, um, all of us that were from out of town were staying at the same hotel, and my team went to dinner all together. It was only like 3 blocks away. So I bundled up. Like, we're going to it's still 3 blocks. So I bundled up and I totally got made fun of, but I was the only one that wasn't shivering the whole time. I'm like, why are you making fun of me? I'm like not freezing my butt off out here. It's cold. And then they ended up checking our coats and everything. It was a nice restaurant. So we didn't have to sit there with them on our chairs or anything. It was nice. I was like, I get to be warm.
I haven't. Man, I haven't seen a coat check at a restaurant for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, like, yeah, usually when I go to Denny's, they don't, but I haven't been to a Denny's in a long time either. Um, yeah, well, down here, I can't imagine that there's very many places that do it because they don't really need to, but yep. So that was one cool thing that happened for me. Any cool things happen with you?
Hmm.
Are you just thinking about it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, there's just so many
Oh,
cool things that it's hard to line them all up, you know? Huh.
yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I got a new board game.
What?
Yep.
Race leagues?
Oh yeah, racing's
That's
been fun. That's a little dangerous, but it's been fun. So
like running,
no, no,
swimming?
RC cars.
Oh.
Non-physical activity, you know. Race leagues. There's Craig. Craig's like race leagues. He thinks he's speed racer, and he's really like, who's the demolition derby king? That's what Craig is. Jeez, just slams into everybody, messes everybody up, and then says, "Oh look, I won." It's because
That's
everybody's in rubble, laying around the track. So it's
That's
horrible.
awesome.
But
Good job, Craig.
But yeah, we've been having fun with that. Yeah, I'd say that's the newer development. And I say race leagues. It's funny because they're little micro cars, and so they're like 1/28 scale. So I'd say they're probably what 6, 8 inches long, something like that. But they're pretty fast and they're fun. So
That's
so there's
awesome.
that. I don't know. I have a lump on my eye, so that's not fun. So
What?
not on
Like
my
on your
eye,
eye,
in
like a
my
sty?
eyelid again. Yeah, it's a chalazion. So
Oh,
it's the inside sty. It's almost
I've had
worse.
those before. Oh, I'm sorry. That sucks.
And then the best part is we need more people to be doctors because they don't have enough specialists and I can't get in for like 5 or 6 more weeks. And like I'm guilty of not going maybe as early, but at the same time it wasn't bad enough to warrant a doctor trip. And so then by the time you go,
Yeah.
you're like, all right, I can wait a couple more weeks, right? Knowing that there's a thing. No, I made this appointment like 2 weeks ago, and it was March 10th is when I get to go. And I'm like, what the heck? That sucks.
It'll be gone by then.
No, it won't. It won't. I'm gonna have
Oh,
to go to
it
the
won't?
emergency. Yeah, I'll probably have to go to the emergency room before that. I'm gonna try calling
But
and seeing if I can do like an on-call thing. So, because it's getting sore, and it just keeps building up pressure. Because
mm,
what it is, it's a blocked oil gland in your eyelid, and so it just
mhm.
builds up this kind of blockage, and it creates like a pressure lump thing. And they just lance. They flip your eyelid inside out and lance it. I've had it done a couple times.
Mm,
I'm I'm a repeat offender.
gotcha.
I think
I
it's a
like to live
combo
my
of
life.
let my eyes dry out too much, and then I got an eye infection. Um, I don't know what, back in November or something, I think. And so then I think it's from that because they give you medicine for eye infections that's like gel, and it just clogs up all your eye glands.
Oh,
I mean, pretty much it fixes one thing and it causes another problem. So I guess I have sensitive eyes. So
yep.
I don't know.
Sounds like it.
So that's like the
Well, you
actual
wear
going
contacts
ons.
sometimes too, right?
No, no, I haven't worn contacts in a while. I only wear them for sports now.
Yeah.
I'm lazy. I'm
Yeah.
just too lazy. It's easier to read. My contacts make my eyes work harder when I'm working, so it's just easier on my
Mm,
eyes to wear glasses. And then,
yeah,
um,
that's
and then
fair.
you just like, what am I gonna put them on after work to watch TV? So, or painting again. That's kind of like it. I don't know. I think the power on my glasses is so high that like I'm starting to lose super fine detail with my contacts because there's only so much contacts can actually do. Glasses
Mhm.
are, a lot. They can do a lot more. They can go and fix everything, kind of in a way, like all the levels of your vision. And contacts, I think they always make the comment that mine are pretty strong, and there's probably not much more. So I think I'm losing a little bit of my near, and I'm talking within not reading distance, but a little closer than that, like painting distance. So
Gotcha.
something to that effect. I don't know. I'm just falling apart. I'm old. Just old man. Look at me. I'm a rag doll.
Yep. Yep. Yep, you are.
I
But
think we're
that's
gonna have
okay.
to refix whatchamacallit, animes too. I don't see my mouth moving as well as I'd like. So our animes are pretty messed up.
I don't even have a mouth right now.
Cause you're
I'm
like,
just
I gotta calibrate with a smile so it doesn't know what to do now.
with a frown.
Or a frown, yeah,
I have
whatever.
to calibrate with a sad face, like with my eyebrows down and a sad face.
Uh,
Because if I just have like just a resting face, it makes me look like I'm really mad. It's
if you
weird.
have your normal resting bee face, it just makes you look normal. Is
Yep.
that what you're saying? Oh, oh, good late morning, Patricia.
Funny. Yep. Good morning.
Uh, so, so yeah, that's our going ons. But why is I fixed our website too? Jeez, everything's just so broke. It's supposed to say
Well, we haven't done this in a while.
like I had to refresh the actual
That was
page.
mostly my fault. Oh.
That's how bad it was. Uh, Now it's right, but
Yeah.
good thing I hit it.
Well, I for one am glad that we're doing this again. It's time. It was that last month was a whirlwind and I'm ready just to get back into the routine.
Yeah, yeah, missing out on your news,
Yep.
and I'm
I know. I don't
surprised.
know
Like,
anything that's happening.
um, a couple, uh, a couple of the articles have been circulating, but um, some of the stuff hasn't, and it's interesting. I think this year is going to be exciting. It'll definitely be interesting with financial situations for a lot of people. So I think
Yeah.
maybe we can do a show on financial, like how tech can help you maybe with financial, not decisions, but keeping track of everything or organizing things, or personal,
Mhm.
personal finance type tips for those that may not,
Yeah.
not necessarily advice, just things like, hey, this sounds interesting, kind of look to see what's out there. Um,
I
so,
think that's a good idea.
because it'll
I
be
could use
tricky.
some of that.
I saw an article about some like somebody's investigating why egg prices are so high, and because they think it's actually kind of price gouging versus just market, the fact that a bunch of chickens died, or because that did happen, but
Mhm.
they had to kill
Yeah.
like tons for bird flu or something. Um, and
Mm.
then and
Yeah.
then
Well,
plus,
they've
oh
been
what?
talking about that happening for a long time. I
Yeah,
was
they're
just gonna say they've been talking about that's coming down the pipeline, they've been saying that for a long time, like, "Ugh, it's just gonna keep getting worse and worse." So,
yeah,
I mean, I feel like it's been like 15 years that they've been talking about it's finally here.
yep. And it just seems like
But
everywhere you
continue, I'm sorry.
turn, no, it just seems like everywhere you turn, everything's like really crazy expensive, like even more than what you would expect. But then there's so
Yeah.
many layers in our system nowadays, and then when you have costs at every layer increasing, it makes
Mhm.
the consumer prices go so far up. But yeah, $5 for a carton of eggs is crazy. I mean, I'm sure it's even more expensive in other areas of the country because I just saw that like Fort Wayne, which is near our area, um, was ranked as ranked as number one of the lowest cost of living places in the country. So it's kind of interesting, and it makes sense. I
Really?
mean, this area is insanely cheap. I've lived in Boston and traveled, here and there throughout the United States. Um, it is pretty cheap here. So a little
It
spoiled
feels
in that
like it
way.
would be expensive for, like, food and stuff, though, just because it is, like, especially with the winter months and stuff and the weather being what it is, that it 'cause I just feel like is there's more rural areas where you are? Is that a true statement? I've never been there before.
Yeah,
Or is that
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Lots of rural.
mm.
Um,
So it
uh,
just yeah,
I was trying to think of the size of the cities, but like, I mean, population size, I think a couple hundred Ks, but we're all spread out. I mean,
yeah.
a lot of straight roads because that shows that you're rural
Hmm,
because they just they draw grid roads.
mhm.
When it's
Yeah,
tight, you get
they're, like,
squiggly
straight.
roads. Let's go.
Yep,
Right? I mean,
and
that's
you
like
start getting
Boston's
one-way
crazy.
roads and stuff, yeah.
Boston, New York,
Yeah,
Florida starts getting a little crazy because the coastline. I mean, they try to draw some straight roads,
yeah.
um, but yeah, no, it's pretty rural, and I think cost of living just because um, you have lower wages. So basically, every area prices what that area, the maximum that area can soak out of its people. That's what I would think because that's why
Yep,
you can't like when if you notice when you shop, if you type in different zip codes, not only does that help you find your store close by, but it does prices are different in different areas. And so
mhm,
it's because they find that people make more in this area and they can gouge more. So. But yeah, we'll
yep.
do personal finance, and then there's some cool quantum computers, and we got some fission, fusion type things going on. Somebody, I think, just cracked how
Mhm.
to super fast charge electrical vehicles, but nobody should be buying them because of all the bad cobalt mining that has now been
Mm,
exposed. Everybody's guilty of some
yep,
horrible atrocities now because we have cell phones, anything that has a battery in it, basically. 70% of if you don't know, you should be aware at least of this. That like 70% of all cobalt, which goes into lithium batteries, um, comes from the Congo and a very specific area of the Congo. And it's not mined in a very humane way. Some guy just did a multi-year book investigation. He's got video, he's got everything to back up. He's got all the receipts. We'll put it that way. And yes, I'm sure he picked and chose some of the more worse ones than others, but any
yeah,
of them are horrible, like insanely horrible. And so that's one thing I was talking with somebody about was the fact that, you know, we should be using our technology and our focus to fix those types of areas. I think it was Link, where you have people doing types of jobs that are just absolutely horrible. Why don't we focus on fixing that? We still need that resource, and whether we want to talk about that or not, that's different. But at least remove the human element out of it. And of course, they have large scale mining um, abilities, but it's the fact that it's expensive and maybe it's not as good, right? I mean, maybe sometimes just throwing tens of thousands of people in a hole and making them dig is a more cost effective way. But then I mean, let's try to fix that. It's and not just
yeah.
like say stop
No, I
it
agree
because
with that.
obviously we can't stop the batteries, but let's remove that. And we should just have like robotics, AI, like that's what people should be focusing on and not some of the stuff we're going to even cover in here, right? Where you're using smart technology and AI for just productivity so you can do more work, more paper pushing, you know, instead of something like that. But yeah, you should look into just read, be knowledgeable about that because it's actually a sad thing. Because I don't know how you remove it from society. That particular one. How do you stop making batteries at this point,
Yep.
or even trend to
Mm,
anything else? I mean, you gotta find a new technology, but I'm talking that'd be a while away. So, but we have some other fun things to do today. What do we got? We got some shape shifting robots, bringing back the woolly
yep.
mammoth, lots of space stuff, some
I
info
love
about
space.
strawberries that you may not know,
Yummy.
how you can be tracked
Mm,
in your house. You said it was cool. I thought of
And,
it
like
that way. And then I think that's
No,
about it.
we've been watching a lot of crime shows. So I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." You can, like, see anyway, we can talk
Yep.
about it then.
And then Chat GPT. So, do we need to take a break now that we're past our
Yep.
intro time?
I drank a lot of water and coffee today.
All right, let's see. There we go. The 0.99
That's awesome.
still there.
I like it.
All right, see you in a minute.
That'll be the fast break.
We've got 4 viewers. Who's our secret viewer? It's probably just us. So, hopefully we'll have the games up and going again here soon. But I was tired of the old loser games that we just always lost.
What? You always lost your games?
Yeah, we always lost in those games. That's why we don't have those old games back.
Yeah, I need to talk to you about the book that I've been reading. I was telling you about um it's the genre is called lit RPG. Um but I don't have anybody to talk about it with. But it's like it kind of reminds me of like a this isn't right, but more like Lord of the Rings. So I've read Lord of the Rings several times, and then I just read Harry Potter. And like Harry Potter, every book kind of recaps what happened in the last book. You're reintroduced to a lot of characters. It's a lot of wasted time. Um, where Lord of the Rings is just one book that's been broken up into three. And uh, this book is more like that, where I think there's 9. I'm on the 3rd one, and, like, it just stops, like the end of a cartoon where it's like, "What's gonna happen next?" And then it just, like, as soon as you get into the next book, it just starts right where the last one left off. So, there's a little bit of reminding you what certain characters have done, but more because they haven't been like, I'm in the 3rd book, maybe you haven't heard about that character since the 1st book or whatever, or, a couple hundred pages. So they might reintroduce, remind you what they did because there's a lot of characters in the books. So, and everybody has different powers and they have different essences, abilities, weapons, familiars, like all these different things. So, but anyway,
That sounds fun.
it's really cool, and I'm glad. Yeah, and I'm glad that I didn't know what lit RPG was because I might not have selected the book. And when I did figure it out, I'm glad that I decided to try it anyway. Just because I don't play video games, I was worried that I wouldn't understand. Um, and I'm glad that that didn't get in my way. It was really good, and I think that I don't know. I know you're not a big reader, but I think that it's cool that there's a genre out there that you might enjoy.
There's lots of genres that I'd enjoy.
Yeah, that's true.
There's whole areas dedicated to fantasy and
Mhm.
futurism
Mm.
and post-apocalyptic worlds. I mean, one of the
Oh yeah, I
one of
can't.
the great Stephen King series is The Dark Tower, right?
Yep.
Remember? You read parts of that.
Yep.
I don't know if you read it all.
Yeah. We. Yeah. No, I read.
All the books
I
I
think I
had.
made it to the fourth. Yeah, I made it. I think I have one book left. I had to stop because
I think there's 7
it's a pretty
now.
intense series. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I need
I
maybe
have them all as audio.
after this series.
I have
Oh,
them
there
all
you go.
as Audible books. I have because I got an Audible subscription, and then I wasn't listening to anything, but they keep giving you credits. And so then I wanted to cancel. And if you cancel, you lose all your credits you haven't spent yet. And then I even got into a scenario where I was losing credit, or my credits were gonna expire because if you don't use them for like a year, then so then when I was gonna cancel, I went and bought up a bunch of the books I want to listen to, and so I got the whole series of The Dark Tower, and then a bunch of
That's
other
awesome.
crazy computer books and stuff like that. So, but then I never turn on Audible because have lately been doing uh, other things. So I need to turn that on because I listen to that when I paint. So that's helpful. But all right, let's
No,
get
that's a
into it.
good idea.
We've been chit chatting for too long. Too long. What do we got? We
All
have a
right, let's do
website
it then.
that is blurry, but we need it for. Really?
What?
Nothing. This thing's just everything's just messed up today. It's just all messed up. I only worked on different parts of this stuff. I didn't work on this. There we go. So, first up, we have a shape-shifting robot escapes miniature prison cell by liquefying before re-solidifying.
That's so cool.
So they made a little Lego guy, of course, and he's going to get out of that.
Uh-huh.
He's going to come out of that. And obviously he can't fit. We all see this. So let's go look to see how this is going to happen. All right. Here we go. Oops. Let's see if I can get this full screen. There we go. So it's made with magnetic gel-like particles. And it's able to rapidly and reversibly shift between liquid and solid form. So then it sends the alternate magnetic field through the material, and it's able to melt and reform. So see, it's kind of like the screen that you're seeing as the robot there. That little snowflake means it was cooling probably. But yeah, so they're hoping to use it to be able to solve medical problems where they can have you swallow something or take something, and then it can go in and grab some kind of particle and help remove that for you.
That's so cool.
So now
Oh,
we're
whoa, whoa,
searching
whoa,
for the
whoa,
magic
whoa!
frequency. And we start with 100 hertz, and we look through the
There was sound in my headphones from that video.
I figured. I figured that was your it's loud noise that you make.
Yeah, so that's our shape-shifting robot.
So
So
did it do that by itself, melt by itself, or was there somebody that like, you know, controlled it to do it?
let's see. I
I guess you could
think
read.
they needed material that turns to liquid close to room temperature. Mercury couldn't do that. The team added some other magnetic microparticles. And then the phase shifting material has been made before, but needed external heat sources or electrical currents to transform. The paper reports, in addition to the achievements in the video, the little Robot can jump. He can jump too. He can jump 21 millimeters. 21 millimeter
Sweet.
moats and climb walls when solid. So I'm guessing he's like on remote control. He's probably remote controlled.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. Your mouth was real excited about saying that. It was awesome. Oh, were you drinking coffee?
Nah, just sitting here.
Just sitting here minding
It's
my own
amazing to
business.
think James Cameron couldn't put Liquid Cyborg of his dreams in the first film because CGI wasn't advanced enough back in 1984. Now he can do it in real life. Because
That's
like the
crazy.
Terminator. That's
In
funny that
40
he couldn't
years.
put the Terminator in. He couldn't put the liquefied Terminator, but he wanted to. He's like, I want this in there, but I'll have to wait. I have to wait for the technology to catch up. Cool. Well, we have NASA. They're trying to fund their own mind-blowing projects. The space agency
sound
gave
effect.
more money to researchers working on liquid telescope mirrors, lunar oxygen pipeline, and Martian building blocks made of fungus. What?
Sounds delicious.
NASA awards these grants annually, mostly to academic researchers in the United States. This new batch of awards for Phase 1 projects, which each received $175,000 to conduct a 9-month study that researchers will use to lay out their plans in more detail. Oh, I know why they give it to academic researchers. Because academic researchers don't have to be paid, right?
Mm.
So then the $175,000 is all going to actual research instead of people's salaries. Because I was like, wow, that's not very much money.
Yep.
How are they going to pay all those
Yeah.
people?
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. So, some of those competitors may ultimately find a home at NASA or with a commercial partners. Others may have an indirect effect on space exploration by paving the way to spin-off technologies. For example, startup Freefall Aerospace inflatable antenna began as a NIAC project. So, cool. One of this year's winners is a proposal to design a habitat assembled from building materials grown on Mars. Well, that kind of makes sense. Substances generated by fungi, and bacteria. It's hard to send big heavy things like housing structures to space. The launch cost is prohibitive, and you have to squeeze it atop a rocket and stick the landing on Mars too. Okay. But this project developed because I was picturing that. So you have this big building up on the tip of your rocket. So, like, yeah, I would imagine
Yeah.
you. Like, what's?
I was picturing like an old station wagon with a bunch of stuff on top, like tied down.
That's a really good picture. Yep. So we need to go through these articles, and we'd have that picture as we're reading that. That would be cool to bring up.
Yep.
So, yeah. So these fungi or bacteria start small, but they gradually grow filaments, tendrils to fill space available to them. We call them self-healing materials. Cool. They want to have growing bricks. Another winner proposes designing a giant moon-based pipeline that could deliver much-needed oxygen to astronauts on a future lunar base. Oh, yeah, because ferrying tanks of oxygen to space. Wait a second. Designing a giant moon-based pipeline. Oh, okay, because they would. I was like, why are you ferrying tanks? Because they would have to replace the tanks and take them back. So they want to have a better storage system. You come fill it
that
up.
feels like a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, like your rocket ship is full of whatever you need to put in that containment unit. So that makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
That feels scary though. They're like, if they don't make it, then you have no exchange.
So his proposal isn't anything crazy on Earth, but in space, he's trying to build a 5-kilometer pipeline connecting two areas. It would be built in segments by robots using metals like aluminum extracted from the planet itself. Okay, so they need to figure out a mining operation and how to build that thing. Because it all makes sense. We can't shuttle everything to these places. And so
Yep.
we have to use our knowledge and our engineering skills to actually build out whatever we need. So
Yeah.
and then we have to figure out how to get the minimal amount of things to the planet to be able to accomplish this task. You know, extra screws, everything is weight. I forget what the cost per ton is.
Yeah. Well,
SpaceX does the
and you
lowest.
figure you'd you'd need people. So then not only do you have all the supplies, but then you also have to get people there, and it gets really massive. It's be pretty cool if you could use robotics and um the the planet's own resources, and then there's very few people that you actually have to send there because then you have to get them supplies and all these other things. So you for every person that's there, there's a cost. Yeah,
Which
that's
goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Why don't we solve this problem for the mining, the cobalt mining, and then, because it's kind of like the same that you don't have that many people to throw up on the planet. Just like your exact point, we don't have tons of people up there. And so we have to have people also traveling up there, but we can't just shuttle like tens of thousands, millions of people up there to mine and do all this work. So why not kind of figure this out in that area, which I don't know, I think digging in a hole is not the most different. I mean, I imagine it's different in space, but you know what I mean? It's like it's still you could probably mimic something somehow. But yeah. So that's cool. What else do we got? We got a fluidic telescope concept. Only need to launch a frame structure such as an umbrella, and then after launch, a liquid would be injected into the frame. In space, droplets stick together because of surface tension, and the pesky force of Earth's gravity doesn't get in the way to distort their shape. This would result in an incredibly smooth interior without the need for mechanical processes like grinding and polishing, which are used in traditional glass mirrors. That would be cool. So,
yeah.
yeah, you make your disc out of liquid. It's interesting. You get to do all kinds of fun things in space.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
Among the 14
Space
winners,
explosion.
a proposal to deploy a seaplane to fly on Titan, Saturn's biggest moon, and one for a heated probe to penetrate the ocean of its neighbor. Some of these projects won't succeed. The program helps NASA test the bounds of what's feasible. If a project fails, it's still useful to us. If it works, it could transform future NASA missions.
That's so cool that they do that. I mean, you kind of have to if you want to stay, um, if you want to keep innovating, find out what the kids are coming up with. All these awesome minds. That's very cool. I like that.
Well, scientists have also been busy. They're trying to reanimate a woolly mammoth, and it'll be back in 4 years. And this is not a joke. This is real. This is really real. I think they're doing it up in Alaska, where they're trying to put the thing. Forget where they're putting it. Oh, so
That's crazy,
yeah.
huh?
This is from just this year, January 30th. Scientists are reincarnating the woolly mammoth to return in 4 years. So 2027, we are bringing back our first dinosaur. And think about this, if they can do this, again, what we were just talking about, you would only need to take the building blocks to another planet, and then you could just run the technology to bring animals there. It would be
Mhm.
quite a ways away, right? I mean, to probably do many different genomes and, just all these different species and just everything. I'm sure we're talking 20, 30, 40 years away, right? To really do something where you'd bring in, like, even just populating, let's say, 10 of 20 different species on a planet. That'd be crazy,
Yeah.
right? That's still, I think that tech's quite a ways away, but we don't know if you hit the right little learning thing, insight. That's the word I was looking for. If you find the right insight, you could speed all this up. So the long dead woolly mammoth will
I
make
don't know,
its.
it might be a bad idea
It might be a
to
bad
do it
idea.
on a planet. It'd be like it'd be like those like islands and things where ships would accidentally or whatever bring rats and then it would just get overrun. Just imagine like having some animal and like how quickly it would go through like all the resources and people'd show up and it'd be like scurrying, like all of a sudden just a whole bunch of woolly mammoths scurrying around.
I missed Craig's comment. The first one was the shuttle the slaves into space. No, no. But the Alaska and
Yeah, let's not
Siberia,
do
he
that.
says. So it's going to
Yep.
Alaska and Siberia. Yeah, I don't know. You're
Well, it
reanimating
would have to. I
things.
mean, it's so warm. Yeah.
Yeah, reanimating. Back to your point, reanimating things on other planets. We don't know what's going to happen. What if you get?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many things. But the long dead woolly mammoth. Let's see. Colossal, the biotech company, is actively working to reincarnate the ancient beast. Last year, the Dallas-based firm scored an additional $60 million to contribute. Yeah, if I was a rich person, I'd be like, heck yeah, let's see if we can make this thing. I'd give you
Mhm.
$5 or something. Um, if successful, not only will Colossus bring back an extinct species, so they're doing a proof of concept is what they're doing. One that the company dubs a cold-resistant elephant, but it will also reintroduce the woolly mammoth to the same ecosystem to which it once lived in an effort to fight climate change. But I thought like farty things weren't good for they were bad for climate change, right? Isn't that what people say, that
Yeah.
the cows farting the methane gas?
Yeah.
We got
Maybe
too many
maybe
farts.
not make a whole bunch. Well, and also like the sanctuaries and stuff where they have the elephants. The elephants are causing huge problems because they're taking down all the trees, of little trees there are because that's what they do. And so they're like causing a lot of destruction in these sanctuaries. So I'm just curious what happens when we're already having climate control issues and then reintroducing an animal as big as a woolly mammoth that's similar to an elephant into an environment where it's not going to have any natural predators. And but I guess that's probably unless you're planning on just farming them and having them for food.
They thought about that's part of it. The woolly mammoth's
Mm.
DNA is 99.6% match of the Asian elephant. They throw that
Which we
out. Go
don't
ahead.
use for
What?
food, so maybe.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
I
we don't
said
have.
which we don't use for food,
Yeah.
so maybe we won't be.
Which Colossal leads to believe it's well on its way towards achieving a goal. But the 99.6, it's funny that they point that out because I think there's, like, when you talk about the differences in DNA between like different things, it's not usually very much. So that's
Yeah,
why I was like, well, that could be significant, that little difference. Um,
yeah.
but it's a
Um,
proof of concept. So let's see. They're gonna grow it in a African elephant. So they're gonna put the embryo in a elephant and take advantage of its size to allow it to give birth to the new woolly mammoth. Hmm.
that makes sense. It's like Jurassic Park
And then after
minus
that,
the
they're gonna do the
kangaroo.
thylacine, which is the Tasmanian tiger, and then
Mhm.
Yeah, and then expect a variety of new ethical questions that arise on how to handle the creature and potential reintroduction issues.
Yeah, better to wait until after they're here to have that conversation.
Yeah, why not? Well, you don't know how they're going to behave, too. You don't know, like, what are they going to go? I would imagine it's programmed into them, but, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
It
while they're
seems
doing,
like
what?
there's a lot of Oh, I was just gonna say there's a lot of animals that are on the endangered species list where we can see the issue with not having them already. So maybe the focus should be on, up in their numbers. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't think anybody that's actually working on those projects care about that. But
Makes sense, though. You're right.
like,
Practice on that.
yeah. We can see the having these creatures leaving is causing this kind of impact. What do we do to get more of them back? And yeah, anyway, like they did with the wolves in Yellowstone. But
So, scientists are also busy genetically engineering fish
yummy.
because millions of fish are farmed in the U.S. every year, but many of them die from infections. In theory, genetically engineering fish with genes that protect them from disease would could reduce waste, reduce waste, and help limit the
Mm,
environmental impact of fish farming. It does make sense. You wouldn't have to farm as much if you got
yep.
if we're talking like a lot dies, maybe they're not disclosing. Maybe it's like a really, oh, wait, here we go. Americans go through a lot of catfish. In 2021, catfish farms in the U.S. produced 307 million pounds of fish. On a per pound basis, anywhere from 60 to 70% of U.S. agriculture is catfish production. Wow, that's a lot of catfish. Huh.
That is a lot of catfish.
But catfish farming is also a
Wow.
great breeding ground for infections. From the time fish are farm I can't read. From the time farm fish are newly hatched to the time they are harvested, around 40% of the animals worldwide die. 40%! Oh, there's your number. Jeez.
That's pure insanity. Yeah, no
Yeah, we should
wonder.
work on
Wow.
this. Could genetic modification help? The alligator gene helps produce special proteins. The protein is antimicrobial, antimicrobial. I don't know. It's thought to help protect
Uh,
alligators. Oh, go ahead.
antimicrobial. Uh, inter anti. I can hear it in my mind.
So I'm
We'll
not alone.
continue.
Thought to help
No.
protect alligators from developing infections in the wound they sustain during aggressive fights with each other. That makes a lot of sense. Huh, never thought about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're in some nasty water. You would think they'd get infections, but they never do. They have like massive scars too. Dunham
Yeah.
wondered whether animals that have the gene artificially inserted into their genomes might resist more diseases. The resulting fish do seem to be more resistant to infections. When the researchers put two different types of the disease causing bacteria in the water, they found that gene edited fish were much more likely to survive than their counterparts that had not undergone gene editing. Cool.
Aren't catfish already a little aggressive? I mean, who knows that that they would have anything like that. It's just funny to think like noodlings getting will be even more dangerous. Like this this catfish, he's got some real chompers now
I like catfish.
from the alligator. I had
Catfish is good.
some I had something recently, I can't remember where, and it was delicious. I enjoyed it. Maybe in Daytona when I went there.
I haven't had it for a while. So, next up, what do we got? Do we want to break
I
now
know.
or a few more?
Yeah, let's do one more. I think after that I should be good to make it through the rest of the
All
sheet.
right. What is this? What is
I
this
don't know.
cool
It's
thing that we
beautiful.
got? I'm gonna hang here for a second. This one hit the news recently. No, nobody's got a thought on what's on the screen. I know we're a little delayed, so give it a sec. But this will appear in the night sky for the first time since the Stone Age. No, yeah, there was that. That was a little close. The asteroid. Nope, that's not the close asteroid. This is a green comet. Green meteor, same thing. I don't know. Is it? Yeah, a comet is a meteor, right? Or is
It's
a
a
meteor?
comet.
Huh?
I think a meteor is when it falls through our
It
atmosphere.
has to be entering our atmosphere at that point.
I don't know. Let's see.
Comet versus meteor, because they're both rocks. Is it a comet till it enters the atmosphere? Then it's a meteor.
I wrote comment.
So I'll read while you're looking that up. Go ahead.
Comets are small icy dirt balls. Comets are small icy dirt balls that form. Dirt balls that orbit the sun. Comets are made of ice and dust, while asteroids are made of rocks. A meteor is a space rock or meteorite that enters Earth's atmosphere. As it burns up upon entering Earth's atmosphere, it creates a streak of light in the sky, often called a shooting star. So, meteors are space rocks. A meteorite enters the Earth's atmosphere, and a comet is a dirt ball of ice and dust that orbits the sun.
So the way I'm understanding it, an asteroid turns into a meteor, which then turns into a meteorite. In theory, if it doesn't burn up, right? Isn't that the way that we're? Then a comet is just an ice ball.
It says a meteor is a space rock.
Yeah, what's an asteroid?
Yeah. That's a good question. Didn't say it.
Say asteroid versus meteor. So this guy's coming around. When is it coming?
Oh, this is
Oh,
a little
2
different.
days
An
ago.
asteroid is a small rocky object. Oh, it
Go.
already went by?
Yeah, so go ahead.
Oh man, we missed it.
Yeah, by 3 to 4 days.
We were gonna watch it.
2 days.
Dang it. An asteroid is a small rocky object that orbits the sun. A comet is a ball of ice and dust that orbits the sun. A meteorite is a small piece of asteroid or comet. A meteor is a streak of light in the sky that appears when a meteoroid burns up upon entering the Earth's atmosphere. So asteroids and comets both orbit the sun. And a meteor a meteoroid is a small piece of asteroid or comet. A meteor is a streak of light in the sky that appears when a meteoroid burns up upon entering the Earth's atmosphere.
So
Man, I had to
asteroid,
read that a few times,
meteoroid
obviously.
to a meteorite. So is that the relation? A meteor is just a light. What happens? But I thought the meteor. So the meteoroid is just a roid
It's just a small piece.
until it starts.
A meteoroid is a small piece of asteroid or comet, and then if it hits our atmosphere, then it's a meteor, and then.
So the roid can be just floating around and
meteorite.
not necessarily come in. Gotcha. Wow, a lot of stuff going on there, and some rocks.
Yeah, it's a lot. No wonder.
So yeah, we missed it It came. I mean, it's still there if you have probably a good telescope. But February 1st and 2nd, it was close to 26 million miles away. The closest time. Even during its closest approach, the comet will still be more than 100 times the moon's distance away from Earth. So yeah, you already had to have a decent telescope. It looks
Yeah.
like. It was a comet
Well,
near.
that makes me feel better because we talked about trying to see it last weekend. Like,
Yeah,
okay, we need to remember.
there it is. That's it.
All right. Well, that's cool. We didn't get to see it, but at least we were here when it happened.
Uh-oh, snow moon tomorrow is a full moon, says DB. Oh, she said you can see it.
That'll be cool.
So you could see it with your eyes. Is that correct? Is that what you're saying? The comet or the snow moon? I hope we
I
can
like
see the snow
I
moon.
like it. Yeah, I hope so too.
That's even more
No.
confusing. We're gonna sort this out later. So, all right.
Yep.
We're gonna take our 0.99 break again.
Yep. I'm ready.
Oh, not the comet. Yeah, my main mic didn't work today, so if my sound sounds a little off, it's because I gotta use this headset mic, which still is okay, but it sounds more tin canny, I think.
I don't really notice on my side.
Because you hear this one normally, anyways.
Yeah, that's probably why.
The
I
past,
just
the
told Rick
present.
about the green comet.
Oh, what did he say? He was sad,
Yeah.
but not sad.
He's like, well, let's still try. No, he was the one that told me about it.
No, I was saying not sad because you probably
It was
can't
his
really see
idea.
it, like even when it was close.
Yeah, we didn't get to go into um, a whole conversation about it, but all right. Next.
I have a joke. The past, the
Oh,
present, and the future walk into a bar. It was tense.
that was good.
Did you ever hear about the guy who could see the future when he picked his nose? His name was Nostradamus.
Okay. That's good. Good job.
All right. Oh my gosh, what is this? A mysterious flying spiral above Hawaiian night sky. It looks like a portal to
That would be scary. I
another
wouldn't want to
world.
see that. Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa,
Snap your
stop.
W-2 and file Fed and State for free. Simple tax returns only. See if you qualify.
Ad that I
Get
can't
the
stop.
TurboTax app now.
This is like the worst. Ads are getting horrible. There we go. Let's pause this. Let's see if I can make this big. I was gonna try to come over here. Here we go. Got a little video of it.
Okay.
I suffered for the video, by the way, everyone. Through the
Thank you.
ad. So what is that?
That's horrifying, is what it is. That's really cool, but it would have been scary to see. Are those so is this sped up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what times. There's a clock. We're over the clock in the corner. I don't think it's showing on the screen,
Oh, gotcha.
actually. So this was on January 18th. We got some crazy stuff going. So did somebody just
That's
jump a
really
wormhole?
cool.
So we got hyperspace going on nowadays.
Yeah. Could you imagine being in one of those planes and seeing that? You'd be like, can we go back now?
Yeah. Any guesses, everybody?
Very cool.
Chinese weather balloon reflection? No, that wasn't the Chinese weather balloon. And I was giving the news and everybody a hard time because like instantly it just went to like this is a Chinese thing. And I was kind of saying it's propaganda, but then they did claim it. At least that's what I've
Then
seen
it was true.
recently. They were like, "Yeah, that's ours." And so, I don't know. I'm not saying 100% that was inaccurate, but if I don't know, it's interesting. So that's in the news. We're not talking about it. You can just listen to regular news for that. But this, they believe, was likely caused by a SpaceX launch. And it was from the rocket
Wonder
while it
how.
was rotating. So they think it was
Oh,
from just the exhaust because it isn't the first time that a SpaceX launch has created a mysterious swirl in the night sky, one that was spotted above New Zealand on the same day as a Falcon 9 launch from the same Florida location after another launch in April captured a similar thing above Hawaii. They have suggested that the space communities online have suggested spirals and other formations like the space jellyfish occur when rockets vent their leftover fuel. The gas is expelled at a higher pressure than the atmosphere. It is then illuminated by sunlight, creating the shapes that we see down below. And that kind of makes sense because
or
from
they're
the
going
aurora.
into hyperspeed.
Yeah, that could very well be it. They can do like crazy stuff. That very well could be. But I like to think that our technology is further than it really is. But one of the hard truths that I've had to accept as a programmer is that that technology doesn't move as fast as it could and as you want it. It takes years and years and years to do the most simple things. And I think the moon landing, it's coming out more and more that it was a lot of luck. A lot of things went well on that specific mission. And that's why we haven't been
Yep.
back. Removing all conspiracies. So,
Yep. Yep.
that's why I've gotten to more like, oh yeah, we'll have what were we just talking about earlier? The woolly mammoth in 4 years, or being able to create multiple animals, years after that. No, it's going to be years and years, lots of money, lots of time, lots of research, a few generations of researchers. Because computers haven't really advanced that much. We're still working on some of that. But space is getting better because now we can explore further and further because we have an amazing telescope out there. The
Yep.
JWST.
James.
Yes, thank you, James Webb, that didn't build it.
James Webb Telescope.
Yep. So on October of this past year, 2022, a tiny ringed asteroid eclipsed a star. This event called an occultation marked a first for Webb at a month's end. At the month's end, Webb turned towards Churyko again and notched another victory. For the first time, astronomers analyzing the telescope's data spotted clear signs of water and ice, the presence of which was only hinted at until now. This observation will guide astronomers to better understand the nature and behavior of tiny bodies. And let me get this video that I'm watching over here going. So this is what really? I gotta advertise? No, we're going.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? And then I click on it, and oh my gosh, this is just. It played, and I just wanted it to play again, and then it didn't. All right. Oh, I get to watch that. Oh, that's over. Sorry, no video. But this is what they found. They found the star's apparent path, and as it crossed the rings, that's how they're able to detect it and see that this little planet orbiting, what is this? Around Jupiter, Neptune? Which one does it circle?
Trying to find also.
And then here's some what it's made up of. They're able to determine now what they think the surface composition is. Oh, it's a whole system. I've gotten one step closer to studying the Charlenko system. I don't know. For
It's
example,
an asteroid. Oh, here, let me see. I just looked it up. 1 second.
my video working again.
It was found in 1997. It's an asteroid. It doesn't say where it's at. It just says it was the 5th ring system found in our solar system after Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. Yeah, let's see.
So it's just a rock floating around somewhere.
Yeah, it's an asteroid, it looks like.
There's what they saw.
It orbits between Saturn and Uranus. Sorry.
So this is what we're talking about they see. Not these pretty pictures we're showing. From this, they were able to make all these inferences. Isn't that kind of crazy?
That's crazy. That's so cool. Like, and it's even, I mean, I guess it would be hard to see it when it went in front of well, it wouldn't go in front of our sun. So, but to, I mean, what's the closest star? The one that, I mean, how close is that one that it saw?
Yeah. This one is.
Went in front of. No.
It doesn't have how many millions and millions of miles away. Well, oh yeah, they do. It's still tiny at 160 miles in diameter at a whopping 2 billion miles from us.
That's it.
Just right around the corner. So that's why they only get a blob of light. That's the best.
Yeah.
All right.
That's cool though. Very cool.
So. Ooh. We just got rocks all day long.
Ooh, a space rock.
Meteorite in icy Antarctica was just found. It's rare to find a meteorite so massive. even in Antarctica. They endured the horrible conditions some scientists did to recover the 17-pound monster space rock. A team of scientists included Field Museum and University of Chicago researcher Maria Valdez, who estimated that of the 45,000 meteorites recovered to date, really, that's not a very high number, from just Antarctica. Okay. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. And only 100 or so have been as large as the largest member of this new haul, which weighs 16.7. Size doesn't necessarily matter when it comes to meteorites, and even tiny micrometeorites can be incredibly scientifically valuable, but of course finding a big meteorite like this one is rare and really exciting. There's no denying the largest meteorite recovered by the team is a whopper. It's by far the largest and most massive example of such space rock to reach the Earth's surface. It's far from the largest and most massive. The record is held by Hoba meteorite in Namibia. Hoba is 9 feet long, 9 feet wide, and 3 feet thick, and weighs around 66 tons.
Jeez. I wonder what kind of destruction that did when it hit. Yowza.
Yeah, that's crazy. It would be a big thud. The whopping
Yeah.
new space rock
Anyway.
and other meteorites recovered by researchers will now be analyzed by the Royal Belgian Institute of Natural Sciences, while team members will individually divide and study samples of sediments they collected from Antarctica. Cool.
Very cool.
Oh, do you know what those white dots on strawberries are? All right, come on, everybody that's been in chat. I want to see
Are
your
they
response.
seeds?
You're guessing seeds, Darcy?
Well, that's what I always thought they were.
Craig says not seeds. Well, that's not a guess because you're just saying it's not something, and you're guessing everything else. Jeez.
That's all I know.
I just know it's not seeds, even though they look like seeds, don't they? They look like seeds
Are
to
they
me.
teeth? Are they teeth?
Are they like little prickly things? Protections? Oh, we don't have a very active chat besides Craig. Thanks, Craig.
DB's been doing a good job. Deb's been doing a good job.
No, I'm talking about on this question.
Oh. Well, there's a delay.
No, he got it pretty quick. So they're not
Yeah,
that big of a
that's fair.
delay.
I'm trying to be
So-
supportive.
Trying to buy
of
more
our-
time for our constituents.
Yeah.
Well, you might
I guess
already
someone
be
else is good at
aware that the name strawberry is a misnomer, as strawberries aren't really berries at all.
that. Mm-mm.
Well, it seems strawberries are full of surprises, or rather covered in them, because those seedy looking white dots are just mold.
Ooh,
I think I'm lying, but
gross.
strawberries pitted
Yeah.
accessories called acnes. I'm gonna go with that, acnins, and they are in fact the plant's fruit, with each containing a single seed in what? Huh. So they are seeds, but they're not. The term acne actually refers to simple dry fruit produced by many different flowering plant species, including quinoa, buckwheat, and cannabis. So if the strawberry isn't the fruit of the plant, it's not a berry, then is it? Strawberries are technically aggregate fruit from the family Rosaceae. Raspberries, blackberries also fall into that category, and they all belong to the same family of roses. The term berry is vague in the sense that any editable, fleshy fruit containing seeds can be referred to as a berry, but there is actually a scientific classification. To be classed as a berry, the fruit must contain more than one seed and be made up of an outer skin, a fleshy middle, and an inner casing that holds the seeds.
This is mind blowing.
That's right. Grapefruit,
So we just
lime, and
eat.
pumpkins are technically berries.
That's so weird. So the little white parts are actually the fruit, and then the rest is just the part that, I mean, obviously we eat the little things, seedy things, but that's weird and delicious. I'm glad they're not teeth.
So they're kind of like inside out berries or fruit.
They're like a colony. They're like a little town of fruits.
So they are a seed, but they're not a seed. There's just a seed in it. So they themselves are not seeds.
They have seeds.
Yep, they contain a seed, a single seed. That's so funny.
Yep. They are legion because they are many. Oh, hey, look at this guy.
We're gonna
with his
we're gonna go
holy
quickly
gene.
through this real quick. So if you're not aware, we will be talking about this. We've mentioned it a little bit, but ChatGPT is the hot new thing in tech. If you don't know what it is, a company named OpenAI just publicly launched its latest language generation robot, ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a powerful language model that uses deep learning techniques to generate human-like text. In other words, the robot is capable of answering all of your questions and prompts like an intelligent human would. The model can be fine-tuned for specific tasks, such as language translation, summarization, and question answering. Here are 10 different ways that you can use this for your work and increase your productivity.
If you just don't have anybody to talk to and you don't want to look like you don't know anybody, you're all by yourself. You're like, I'm getting text. I know. Okay.
So, for example, you can have it help you write your emails by giving it a prompt such as write a cold email introducing myself, my company, and inviting someone for a meeting. And ChatGPT will give you an example of that. And then you can continue to ask it more things and modify your prompt and ask again, and it will give you a more refined answer. Read faster. Did you forget to read important documents before a meeting? ChatGPT has your back. Copy and paste a document into the chat and ask the model to summarize the most important points for you. No one would ever suspect. That will work. I've seen that one. Summarize your own documents. Do you need to write a summary version of an article you've been working on? ChatGPT can summarize it for you. Wow, that'd be interesting. We should try doing a whole episode using ChatGPT as our script.
That would be hilarious.
If you think
Let's do
summary
it.
misses any details you find important, just say in your prompt what you want to include. You can use it to review your code. Did you spend an entire day coding, but now you're too tired to go back and review everything? ChatGPT can do it. Just ask your model to spot any possible mistakes and to better organize it. It can also comment your code. Translate research documents. Study efficiently. If you're a student, let's say you spent the entire afternoon studying the French Revolution. Now you want to test your knowledge. Ask ChatGPT to give you 10 questions about the French Revolution, and it will. Content creators use ChatGPT in your favor. Simply ask the model to create content about the subject you want. Maybe, that could be really cool. Maybe the output won't be exactly what you want, but you always have a place to start from. Philosophical discussions. Maybe you're really into niche topic but have no one to talk to, just what you were saying. Or you have a deep philosophical question but have no idea who has written about it before. ChatGPT can help. Is there a meaning to life? What is the philosophical stance on this topic? Play games. It can also help you play games. Users have reported successfully playing tic-tac-toe and chess with the model. I have played a version of Abinator, a game to try and guess which character the other person is thinking of by asking questions only with yes, no. Oh, I've heard of that game. I mean, I've seen it in use.
Cool.
Well, this must be big, because guess who's getting into the game? Microsoft.
Who? Oh.
Microsoft has just created a partnership that will allow companies to access tools like ChatGPT in workplace emails, slideshows, and spreadsheets. With Azure OpenAI service now generally available, I'll have to go look for that. More businesses can apply for access to the most advanced AI models in the world. The launch of Azure OpenAI service follows Microsoft's integration with OpenAI technology into its own products like Excel, PowerPoint, and Bing. It continued a broad trend embracing generative AI. It also comes following reports it has been linked to talks to invest $10 billion in OpenAI at the end of 2022 after first investing $1 billion in it in 2019. Every product that Microsoft will have, every product of Microsoft will have some AI capabilities to completely transform the product. And workers should embrace the new AI tools instead of fearing them. Yeah, of course. Learn how to use them.
Yep.
Let's see what we got. Oh, no. Oh, wait, we got one more. We're going to go before we hit this one. Oh, we only got a couple minutes. No, we'll go to that one. Wi-Fi routers used to detect human locations poses within a room. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon have been testing a system which uses Wi-Fi signals to determine the position and pose of humans in a room. In tests, ordinary Wi-Fi routers were positioned at either end of the room along with various numbers of people in the room, and they analyzed the Wi-Fi signal interference generated from the people. They were able to create wireframe images of everyone standing in the room. Not everyone, but most.
Yeah.
It's early on the technology, so that would mean that people sitting outside your house could use your Wi-Fi to determine where you are and inside your house. Well, that could be interesting. That's good and bad. I guess if you're going to a family event and you don't want to see somebody and you can kind of see how many people are there already, and that could be helpful, but then also the negative side, burglars and stuff could tell what you're doing. Bad people, but they'd have to really want
I
it
don't know.
out for
Do you
you.
think it would be used more like how your cell phone pinging off of towers and stuff, where it's more of just like government agencies using it? I don't know. Stuff like this is like makes me think of when they suspect, kids are in danger or something, like there's a hostage situation to see where people are. I mean, obviously there's like, spying and things like that, which is scary. But then I don't know. I've been watching a lot of crime shows lately, so like my first thought was, being able to see where
Yeah,
bad
before
people
you
are. So
execute
you,
a search warrant. Yeah, I'm with you. Like that type
yeah,
of law enforcement stuff would be great. I mean, if you're using it all for good, like this is awesome. Craig saw this. He's always
yeah.
spying.
Yeah, it is scary though too because that things like this aren't it is an invasion of privacy for most people. Like the majority of people don't need this, but does that outweigh the few times when it's something really awful? I don't know. It's a dilemma, huh?
Well, I think
Too much for the last few minutes of the show, maybe.
yes and no. Just
Oh,
the comment on that is like if people didn't use it for bad stuff, then nobody would be so worried about like privacy and stuff, right? Like in the way you'd still
yeah,
worry about privacy,
yeah,
but you'd be like, okay, the people that have this technology are using it to help protect us. So then, you have what you just said with the more good times than bad. Like, instead of
yeah.
there's once in a million times when they can use it for good now, and then a lot of ways of people using it for bad. So, because everybody's selfish and, whatever. So, it's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a technology that shows that there's a lot of ways that people can figure things out about you without you even knowing that it's happening.
Yeah.
Like surveillance state type of stuff, minority report type of things, right? Everywhere you go,
Yeah.
everywhere you see, it's like the China with how they're already implemented their face tracking of people throughout most of their cities, right? They put that into place for COVID, and then they can track you everywhere. We have a baby version of that, right? That's how law enforcement pretty much catches everybody nowadays. They just pull all the
Mm-hmm.
CC closed caption television, CCTV. I
Yeah.
thought there was a D in it for some reason,
Mm-hmm.
but
I don't think so.
yeah, CC television. But
Well,
yeah,
then there's also like the sorry, continue. I had
you
a
lost your
point and
thought.
I've gone ahead and forgot it. Yeah.
So,
I was like, I'm right there with you. It's just like, nope, all
we'll
gone.
wrap up on that note. We got a show next week. We're back on our regular cadence, right?
Yes.
For the most part. I
Yep.
mean, who knows? There may be a weekend here or there that we miss, but every week, 8 to 9:30. Find us on Saturday here on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you feel
Yep.
generous, you can like and subscribe us. And
Oh yeah. Feel generous.
I saw somebody already liked it. I'm guessing that was Craig, but maybe it was one of our other viewers. Who knows?
Aw. Nice.
Yeah, enjoy your weekend, DB. We're gonna go to our
Yeah, you
outro.
too.
We still have
Oh yeah, and there was some.
2 likes. One was him, he says. Cool.
Thanks, Craig.
Let's see. Does Craig still have his shout out on here? Yeah, Craig, Patricia, Link, DB, Rick, Grandma, supporters. We just have generic supporters. I loved when I made that up.
Supporters.
That's funny. So, all right. We'll see everyone later. Have a good weekend.
Yep. Bye.